Instagram. We are live. Yeah. Welcome to day 2 of Money Medicine 4-part series that commenced last week Wednesday, and we're here again this Wednesday, expanding more and more into money medicine. Yeah, interesting topic we have for today. Join me for this live session. And if you're watching later, that's still fine. Let me know that you managed to watch and share your revelations as you watch this live stream. So welcome to part 2 of the Money Medicine series. Right. Okay, so today we are going to be talking collective agreements that are keeping us in lower money timelines. Collective agreements that are keeping women, spiritual women, souls in lower money timelines, in timelines where they're creating money but at a lower frequency. Yes. So we're going to be expanding on this very important topic because I realize that often we participate in these collective agreements regarding wealth, especially Black descendants, without realizing that we are participating. We do it at a very unconscious level. Sometimes we're conscious, most of the time we're not conscious, and it's a very multi-layered topic. So I am going to narrow it down, so that at least you are able to have more light into this broad topic and what it's all about, So when we speak of collective agreements, think of an agreement as how right now you could agree with someone. It could be a guy that I'm going to be your girlfriend. A relationship, 2 people deciding to be in a relationship is an agreement, right? You signing up a client and then beginning to work together is an agreement. There has to be an agreement for something to take place, right? You being born in your family is an agreement. So an agreement is more like a contract where both parties are having a common understanding of what is to take place, right? So when we speak of collective agreements, we are saying, what have you as an individual agreed to with the collective by participating in that form of understanding, right? And for a lot of us, most of our collective agreements begin in the families that we're born in, the bloodline that you are brought into. Your soul has an agreement with that bloodline, especially if you're a medicine woman or you're a healer. There's a form of an agreement that you have made that I have come to transmute this type of energy. I look at how, for example, for me, money being one of my core missions, liberating women to create money in the highest timeline and create unfamiliar money, right? My soul has an agreement to come and heal that, to heal the scarcity and transmute it into abundance. It's an agreement that I have, and as I do that for myself, it will impact my bloodline, right? Hi! Hi, Onelia. Thank you for being here, love. Hello, Joy. Oh, thank you. I do feel gorgeous as well. I was like, okay. Yeah, the lipstick makes me feel so alive. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for joining me. Right? So, yes, as I was saying, a lot of us have created, our souls are in agreement even in the families that we're born into, right? And for you as the medicine woman, as the healer, your mission will always reveal to you what type of agreement you may have, your soul may have with your bloodline, in terms of what you have come to heal, what you have come to transmute, what you have come to shift, right? A pattern that you have come to shift, a contract that you have come to shift. So yes, that's what I am referring to when we speak of collective agreements. Something that we have to understand, or we have to look into, is that, see, with agreements, they occur at a certain timeline. Every agreement exists and is supported by a certain timeline. Just like in every contract, the date is always stamped. This means that the agreements that you are unconsciously participating in, or consciously participating in right now, right, are existing, or you are able to, your life is revealing those agreements or feeling the impact of those agreements because of the timeline that you are existing in, right? I'm going to give you an example. So back in, when we travel back in time and we look at some of the collective agreements that were created in terms of wealth for our people, the agreements that our people created, a lot of them were based on the reality that they were experiencing, the lack that we're experiencing. And one of the big agreements, the big collective agreements that women made, was that collectively as women, we are helpers, right? We are nurturers of the home. We will be the caretakers, right? And this looks like women in that lineage, in that family, playing this role. When we look at even right now, we still play the role of us women, the gender, our those with the gender role of a woman, will take on the roles of being the nurturer, the helper, the caretaker. For that to exist is because we have collectively agreed, right? Now, when we look at this agreement and see how we are still participating in this agreement, especially when it comes to our approach to wealth, right? It looks like a lot of women holding back when it comes to creating wealth for themselves. And this is because of the collective agreement that we've always created or participated in, that says women are meant to be helpers and nurturers, while men are the ones who are who are forefront about making money, right? And the implications of this agreement looks like women being afraid to, step up and actually demand to be paid for their work, right? Women resisting negotiating for money, negotiating deals, business deals, hired business deals that they are deserving of. Women who are able to make money, struggling to find masculine that can support them, or that can genuinely be in relationships that are healthy with them and supportive of of that timeline of creating money. So a lot of these women who are making money are facing rejection or struggling in relationships, feeling alienated, feeling discriminated. It may not be super obvious, but you can see why a lot of women tend to hold back or resist actually making money, making millions. When you look at the statistics, although it has improved over time, the statistics are still showing that more men are billionaires, more men are millionaires than women, and when women approach wealth, it's always from the perspective of her coming to support a man, coming to be the nurturer and the helper. And this is because of the existing collective agreement that we have long made in the timeline of our ancestors. So even today, when as women are not moving forward or stepping forward or up leveling to saying that I am worthy of being paid, I get to make money on my own terms, I get to negotiate for my income, I don't just accept any deal, I get to price for my work and I get to be rewarded. When women resist stepping in that, we are still participating. When we rebel against this agreement, right, it is through us now deciding to do the opposite of what has been done. So exiting an agreement looks like breaking away from a pattern that has been existing, from the way things that have been done, right? Agreement is sustained by the energy. And when something is sustained by the collective energy, it means that it will be repetitive in our reality to a point where it becomes true. Even if it wasn't true, it is definitely not true that a woman with money cannot be, a supportive, loving woman, calm woman who any man can settle with. No, it is utter bull, However, the reality that exists is that a lot of women are not experiencing that because it's happened repeatedly to a point where we have taken it as our truth, right? Hence, we resist making money and then exist in lower timelines of making money. This is where you could be making more, but you resist making more because of this agreement of you are a helper as a woman, you are a nurturer, and therefore you should maintain that, right? So let me know what you are, what is your revelation as I'm talking about these agreements. Like, are you noticing that this is a thing? Let me know if you're having an aha moment. Another agreement that we make as the collective, and this one is so relevant to you if you're a medicine woman, is that we have this agreement that God's work, or doing, for example, doing God's work, doing your core mission, doing artistic work, doing work that literally is about your divine gifts, where you say, I'll be paid for something that is natural for me, something that is easier for me, something that I know is aligned with me. A lot of times we struggle creating money with our divine gifts because collectively the agreement that exists there has always been that if you're going to earn money, it has to be school, graduate, get a job, and be paid, for something that you were trained in, something that you had to learn. Now, if that is the agreement, this collective agreement, the more we participate in it, the more then we struggle to make money the easier way. And then we create our money in lower timelines. This is the agreement that has wounded a lot of spiritual people, both spiritual men, spiritual women. A lot of people who are gifted, whether creatives, a lot of creatives as well struggle to make money in higher timelines, mining timelines. A lot of gifted people who are doing God's work struggle because collectively the agreement around that is that there is no way we get to mix God's work with money, However, it's okay if you went to school, you graduated, you were trained, and then that way it makes sense for you to be paid, right? So notice that falsehood that exists. However, it is existing because we have made it true. All these agreements are sustained by our participation, right? They are sustained by us making them real, making them true, through repeating them as our reality. You understand then the assignment is to break away one by one as individuals, starting from your family. It has become your responsibility, your assignment to say that I get to question what I am agreeing to, and then deciding that I do not get to participate in this as being my reality. For me, for example, I look at how I've shared in my last video that part 1 of Money Medicine, where I know I grew up in a family where debt has always been a very big wound in my family, where everything we do is literally it's sponsored by debt, and this is because my parents were 8 to 5 parents. Like, they worked most of the time 8 to 5, and because of that, as you know, most of the time when you're in corporate, when you're working 8 to 5, it is easier to get loans. And so unfortunately, they didn't have that financial literacy that we are able to access now, and that looked like most of the time the financial decisions that we're making were more of having to get loans to sponsor their ideas, get loans to develop. And I say this with so much respect, knowing that they did the best that they could, right? And I noticed that this was not just my parents, it was most of my family members, most of my collective, right? So obviously, if this is happening to most of my family members, then it means that we haven't a collective agreement to access our wealth or to approach issues of wealth and money through debt. I then had to become aware and start questioning if this is the reality that I want to participate in. Is this what I want to participate in? And if I do not want to participate in, how then can I, signify that I disagree, I no longer want to be part of this contract? This for me looked like starting my own business and making money on my own terms, deciding that I get to be paid anytime, deciding that I don't get to make my financial decisions based on the debt that I was seeing that has wounded my lineage, right? So an easier way for you as well to see what are some of the collective agreements that you are currently participating in, it has to be where you also see the reality that is currently happening for you and your family members. It's easier to see it when it's in your bloodline, when it's in your bloodline pattern. Because if the pattern is existing, then definitely there's an agreement there. For some people, sometimes it's not even about money. For some people, it's about intimacy, where, the bloodline pattern that is showing up is most of them not being able to get married. There's obviously an underlying collective agreement there about, how they feel about marriage, or how someone at some point felt about marriage and decided to create that reality of that, marriage is something that is not always fruitful or easy. So just allowing yourself to see that, to see the patterns and realizing the collective agreement. You may even share with me right now, even if you're not aware what is the collective agreement, but seeing that, this is how we're actually approaching our issues of money. If money is something that you're noticing, if it's coming as a quick pattern, or if it's not money, do share as well. So one of the agreements as well is where the collective can agree that money is bad because money leads to fights and conflicts, and then you'll find that the people in the collective then resist making money because they know that whoever is to make money has this fear that, okay, if I make money, then I'm going to lose the people that I love, because there will be conflict, because there will be fights. Money is bad. They might be jealous of me, and seeing that the reason why all this is coming up is because yeah, if you are to be the one who makes money when there is such a collective agreement, it looks like you are the one who is, who is betraying others by not existing in that agreement. The power of these agreements, they tend to bring a sense of belonging. Yeah, there's a sense of belonging in our collective agreements, and that's why we keep participating in them, right? So when you rebel against an agreement, or when you sign out or you no longer participate, and that looks like shifting your life, making that shift, it may feel heavy even for those around you, where they may pass remarks, they may make you feel uncomfortable for the decisions that you're making, because to them it's like energetically we have agreed. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Hence why a lot of us will actually keep participating in these agreements, just so that we have that sense of belonging. And this leads to us literally accessing our money in very lower timelines. For a lot of Black descendants or people of color, our lineages mostly accessed money in lower timelines, and they have been kept in these lower timelines because of the agreements that they created, some of which I've already mentioned, right? So right now where you are, it's important to notice that this is what has sustained, the lineage sense of belonging. This is what has sustained the lineage of way of doing things. And seeing this and allowing yourself to challenge it. Your assignment is actually to challenge the agreements that are keeping you in lower timelines. And challenging the agreements that are keeping you in lower timelines looks like, the simplest way is to question if it's true. Question, what if it was not true, right? So if, for example, the agreement is that if you're a woman and you're making money, you will struggle to find a partner who can marry you and have a divine relationship union with you, you get to pause and say, what if I actually made money on my own terms and still had a loving and amazing partner? The minute you question something, there is a shift that comes into play there. When you question an agreement, I'll repeat, when you question agreement, you shift energetically. You allow yourself to access a different timeline. When you question its truth, and then taking the actions that are aligned with your truth, if you find that this is not true. If no one in your family has ever been a millionaire, and it looks like the agreement is that no one makes that much money in our lineage, where it looks like the collective agreement is that we don't get to be rich, because being rich comes with problems. If the collective agreement is more money, more problems, and therefore we cannot participate in making millions or billions. You as the individual have a responsibility to question that, is it true for me that I don't get to make that much? Do I actually believe that money is bad for me? Do I actually believe that I cannot do my purpose work and make money? What if this is not true? Right? What if this is not true? And then taking the action that supports it not being true. It may not be easy at first. Of course, it may not be easy. But I want you to see the power of shifting, of questioning. When you shift, you energetically stop participating, and you exit you exit that timeline and enter into a different timeline where you can create your own reality, right? Your own reality of the money that you want. And this eventually will lead you to access higher money timelines, right? So my message is this: the collective agreements may exist or may have been existing for a while now, but we have the power to change them, to shift them. We have the power to no longer participate. And I believe that it is our assignment to not participate. It is our assignment to create a new reality, to forge a new contract. A new contract will look like, in this family, we get to make money at the level that we want to, in higher timelines. In this family or in this lineage, in this collective, the women find love, the men find love, and very divine partners that are ready to create wealth, right? In this lineage, when you do God's work, you actually get to be compensated. You actually get to make money. You actually get to live an abundant life of overflow. That's a new agreement. That's a new agreement that one day someone will participate into. Someone in your lineage, the future lineage, will participate into, because there was a time when you, right now, where you are, you start writing the contract, rewriting a new contract, rewriting a contract. And they get to find a new contract because you did the assignment. Your assignment is to review the collective contracts, the collective agreements. It is a huge, huge, huge part of you being here and you being on this path. Bring the agreements. They will always be highlighted by the events in your life. If right now you are in your work, in your mission work, in your purpose work, and you are struggling to make money, or you feel like you're only making money that feels enough for the little things that you want, but it's not expansive, the event is coming up for you to question things, right? If right now you are going through a form of sickness, or you are going through multiple heartbreaks where no relationship is working, any form of event that comes into your life is coming up for you to question if it's true. It's coming up because God guides are also bringing it up to say that this is one of the agreements that are existing. And you have the power to transmute that. You have the power to shift that. You have the power to create a new timeline, right? The medicine of creating a new timeline is actually doing the work, right? Doing the work. So for money, it will look like investing in money medicine work, right? To say that I realize that no one has made this amount of money in my collective. We have an agreement that no one makes 100,000 a month. No one makes 50,000 a month. There are many, many, many people, many lineages that are this way. And when you notice that and you're like, but I do not want to participate in this. I want more for myself. I want expansion. You then decide the aligned action. What is it? Okay, to start working on my money. Anything that feels like a struggle, feels like a challenge, it's because it's reflecting a lower timeline of what is possible. And it is your duty, your assignment to challenge that and shift that, right? This is important work. This is so much important work. Yeah. I was laughing at some of the statuses as I was reading a few days back. So we are approaching festive season, right? We're already in festive season, so December is right here. And obviously people, one thing that we're not noticing is that we actually have a collective agreement that December, when we are in December, we get to spend, we get to overspend, we get to use our money in careless ways, and we abandon whatever financial goals that we had. And I was like, a lot of people don't realize that December fever, around how we get to use money is actually a collective agreement. Like we have agreed, that when it's December, let's just be careless with our money. Someone created this, so we participate every day. We participate that if it's December, let's forget about our own, desires, future desires, goals around money. We'll see in January. And then we have created another collective agreement that when it's January, collectively, let us all be in lack. I don't know, like, why do we do that? But the truth is, not everyone is participating. There are some people who can be in January and the account is fat. This is because at some point they shifted that energy, they shifted the contract. They are no longer participating in that contract of, when it's January, then we all don't have money. Right? That's a collective agreement. It is a current agreement that we're still existing in. So, the assignment is question these agreements. Question the truth. And, of course, there will be resistance. But start with the simple, what if this is not true for me? What if this is possible for me? What if the opposite is possible for me? And start working on it being your new reality. It has to make sense, right? It has to make sense. We have the power to challenge the collective agreements. Your reality is going to match the collective agreement that you're participating in. And when you keep experiencing that as a reality, look into what agreement you are participating in. And most of the time it will be a lie. It will be a lie agreement, and find your truth. Find your truth. It's very important that I say this. Agreements are meant to be challenged. Just like even you today, if you are to get into a relationship which is an agreement, and then you find that things are not working for you, you always remember that, I can always decide that this is not working, I'm sorry, but I do not want to participate anymore, right? If you have a business deal and you feel like, no, I'm not going to be able to work with this client or be able to be part of this deal, you can always say, well, I'd like to not participate. The same is true for our lives. Nothing is obsolete. You always have an opportunity to question and say, do I want to participate? But for a lot of us, when it comes to our money, we tend to be very voluntary about participating, even when it's so painful and we know that this is so painful. Lack is painful. Lack is painful. Not enoughness is painful. So why do we have to keep participating in it being our reality? Why are we agreeing that, we get to lack as well, the same way our ancestors lacked? No, that is not the case. You are allowed to question, to shift, and to say, I no longer want to participate. And then take the actions that will rewrite a new reality, a new agreement, so that you and your lineage, your future children, the next generation may find a new contract. If there is something that is clear for me, it's that we are here to shift, to challenge the contracts and rewrite new ones. Right? I hope you agree with me as well. Let me know if you and I right now are agreeing to challenging the collective agreements that are keeping us in lower timelines. That you are here to question them and to shift, to heal, and to rewrite new contracts. That's the mission. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Please do share in your stories about your revelations, and so that many people as well can be able to catch me live or to catch the live classes. We are going to be having another live class next week where we'll still be expanding on money medicine and again accessing our medicine through truth. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. This is the end of our live session. See you soon. If you have any questions still, even though the live class will be off, I will still come back to answer any questions if you have, and also let me know what aha moments you had as you were watching. Okay, right, bye.